All right, this is a Grandpa Ralph story. Ralph was the man who married my mother and was married to her for 43 years until he passed away a few years ago. He was a good grandfather to my children. That's why I call this Grandpa Ralph stories, because they're kind of for them. Okay, now Ralph's grandfather was a Choctaw Indian, and when he was in his, I want to say early 40s, late 30s, early 40s, he decided he needed a wife. I don't remember if he had one before then she passed away or what, but somehow at some point in time he decided he wanted a wife. Well, he loaded up a wagon full of goods. He drove that north to the Chickasha Nation and there bought a wife. Yeah, bought her. Different time, no judging. That's just what they did back then, apparently. Or traded it, dowry, whatever. He got this 14-year-old girl, bought her from her family, and brought her home. Well, she wasn't too happy about it. So she escaped all the time, and he had to beat her all the time and lock her in the smokehouse all the time. Well, obviously, from today's standards, that was pretty bad. But back then, that's just what she did. And her family knew what she was getting into when they sold her. So responsibility. But anyway, the story goes is that he beat her a lot, eventually got her pregnant, and then once she started having kids, she couldn't run no more, and she learned to live with him. And he beat her a lot, and this is where Ralph usually started laughing. But you know what, Brian? He would say, life goes on, and as he's getting older and weaker, she's maturing and getting stronger. So at the end of it, she was beating the crap out of him all the time. He was an abused husband, seriously bad apparently from what Ralph was saying. Now, before he died, he pointed to a fence post that sat right outside of his house, and because this is their old property here that his grandparents and parents lived on. Anyway. So he says, when I come back, when I die, I'm going to sit on that fence post and I'm going to haunt you. And so he passed away. As far as we know, he never came back and haunted it. But when Ralph moved here, that fence post was still there. And he remembered his grandfather being a mean person. So, and he believed that if anybody would be vindictive enough to come back to haunt somebody, he would. So he dug up that fence post and moved it to the farthest corner of his property, and there it sits to this day. So yeah, I feel for his grandmother, but she got the best of him in the end, and yeah, the whole haunting post thing. So just a picture of a time that no longer is, and where you could buy a wife. Well, can't anymore. Probably a good thing. Anyway, I've lived here for several years. And there's no hauntings here, so I don't think his grandfather's still here. Y'all take care.